also remember I need you to read these lines with intensity and sexual conviction. So I read a report recently, and the bottom line of the report was, oh, hello everybody. I should start with that. Hello everybody. So I read a report recently, and the bottom line was we have 12 years until the point of no return in global warming reaches us. Okay, so the UN can't really stop this alone. The UN has pledged an awful lot of money. I'm not going to lie. They have pledged ridiculous amounts on this. Okay, but here's the thing. We need to remember that the climate is not so simple as to give us a neat cutoff date for action. Okay, so this whole 12 years thing, that's not exactly 100% accurate. All of the best to be accurate about this, we don't know how much more we're going to pump in or how much we're going to slow it down. That being said, it could go anywhere to 10 years. The cutoff could be in 10 years. The cutoff could be in 14 years. All we know is what we do have to work with is 12 years. 12 years is what they've found. Okay? So 12 years is all we really have to amend what our species, the human race, has done to this planet. Okay? Scientists have done an awful... Okay, cut that out. Just gonna... Now, one of the key messages that comes across very strongly if you read this report, I'll put a link in at the bottom and you can read it yourself. Everyone can familiarize themselves. Just to know that I'm not lying, I'm not making anything up. Okay? One of the key messages that comes very strongly across from this report is that we're already seeing the consequences of global warming through more extreme weather, rising sea levels, and diminishing Arctic sea ice, among other changes. Okay? So what does this mean? It means that we've already gone 1 degree up. Okay, our goal is 1.5 degrees up in the next 12 years. Anything more than that and the norm is going to become ridiculous. We're not even trying to stop the earth from heating. We're trying to limit the amount that it heats by. Because if we don't, the new norm is going to be, let me just specify 1.5 degrees Celsius, 2.5 degrees Fahrenheit is the amount we want to limit it to. If it goes up by 2 degrees, things are just going to become absolutely horrible. Things we take for granted are going to disappear. Coral reefs, gone. The Arctic ice, absolutely gone. Extreme weather events, Extreme weather events are going to be all over the place. Okay? So commonplace that we'll forget what it used to be like when we didn't have these issues. Okay, there's going to be a rise in sea levels anywhere between 33 feet or 9 meters to hundreds of feet or hundreds of meters. Okay, the seemingly impossible prospect of humans and other creatures being able to survive or live anywhere near the equator, that's going to be impossible. Okay, because there's going to be such extreme heat. It's like expecting a fish to live in the middle of the Saudi Arabian desert. That's not possible. Let's be realistic about this. Okay, our reality will become drought, it will become floods, it will become wildfires. It's going to be food shortages, daily natural disasters, hurricanes outside our doors every single day, tornadoes, earthquakes. These are things we won't be able to stop if we let it carry on the way it is now. Millions of people across the globe, billions of people across the globe are going to experience this. It's inevitable if we don't stop it. Okay, although, as I said, there's no clean cut-off date, but we have an idea of what's going to happen and when it's going to start happening. So let's just do our best. Okay, this report, by all the scientists that was written, it was written by 91 authors, 40 review editors. It features 133 contributing authors, 6,000 scientific references, and it was subject to over 4,200 expert and government review comments. 4,200 governments reviewed and ask questions about this before they publicize this. That is a hell of a lot of questions. I can't even think of 4,200. Oh, correction. 42,000. That's 10 times the amount I just mentioned. Okay, I can't even think of that many questions. Okay, it's possible to make enough changes to stop this from happening. But given the current political climate, let's be realistic, that's probably not going to be the case, since what have our governments ever done for the people? Our governments are too selfish and too worried about themselves to take into account that in 12 years, no matter how much money they have, we're all gonna die, including them. So really, they need to fix this as well. Okay, but even if the government does step in, it's not going to be enough. The world can't meet its target without changes by individuals as well. We need to urge people to change. We need to urge people to change little things, things that will hardly affect them. Could actually do them some good, to be fair. Okay, so walk or cycle short distances. Walk around the corner if you need to go visit your friend that lives around the corner. There's no need for us to get in a car and drive 10, 20 meters. That would be ridiculous, okay? Take trains and buses instead of planes. I'm not that big a fan of a bus, but trains, come on, they're not that bad. Okay, use video conferencing instead of business travel. This is more something we need to talk to people who run companies about. But if you know anybody who owns a company, implore them to do this, okay? We drive distances that we don't need to. There's tons of carbon being pumped into the atmosphere every day, and it doesn't need to be. We can stop this, okay? Use washing lines instead of tumble dryers. Hang your clothes on a washing line outside instead of using a tumble dryer. That's unnecessary electricity. Okay, thoroughly insulate homes. Demand lower carbon. Okay, now this is a really big deal. Demand lower carbon in every product, okay? Companies need money, and they need money from consumers. We are the consumers. Every single person who buys products are consumers. Now, if we head in a certain direction, governments and companies will have no choice but to follow us. So we are the ones with the true power here. We need to demand that they lower the carbon in every single product. We need to demand less carbon in our electricity usage. So basically what that means is solar power, wind power, geothermal power. These are the things we need to make our governments change to. If every single power plant that currently exists on coal or diesel changes, or rather runs to the end of its life and is replaced with some form of renewable energy, we can save this planet. There's a 67% chance that we'll still be okay if that's what happens. Okay, simple truth is that stopping climate change gets harder if we leave it for longer. So let's look at it as a credit card, okay? So every month you use this credit card, you never pay it back. You use the credit card, you don't pay it back, the interest rate goes up. You use the credit card, you don't pay it back, interest goes up. It keeps going up, and it keeps going up, and it keeps going up. And what's going to happen if you don't pay your credit card up for a year, or 2 years, or 10 years? Or in the case of our environment, it's more likely we haven't paid up in 200 years. Okay, you're going to go bankrupt. You're not going to have any money left. You'll never have money again. And that's what's about to happen. The environment is about to make us pay back whether we like it or not. Yeah. Or we all 7-8 billion people on the planet, we could always move to Antarctica. I mean, you know, that's somewhat of a choice if, you know, you've got millions. Or Mars, which should only cost $500,000 a plane ticket. So really, we're all screwed.